meeting is being recorded.
Excellent.
Yes, sir. We're officially back at it. Boog Nice coming at you with not really a quick update, with an interview, a sit down with the Hasbro brand team for 4/25/2022. Just wrapped up with the crew not too long ago. Chopped it up, repackaged it for your viewing and listening pleasure, just so it's all more easily palatable. I hope you guys enjoy.
This ain't for no scalper. You a scalper? Then fuck out shit. One's for them real collectors. That's army building and posing figures. Marvel Legends, imports, mini mates, I'm fucking with them. Hype beast, we know about you. Stay buying figs, don't know about it.
First and foremost, just want to thank you guys once again for the opportunity at another exclusive reveal on my channel. Shameless plug for everybody watching out there. Please don't forget to go back and check out my Spider-Man and Spinneret 2-pack review. It's on the channel now. So yeah, personally, I love the Renew Your Vows Spider-Man and Spinneret set. Perfect opportunity to upgrade the superposable retro carded Spidey and technically give us a new figure, or at least a new version of Mary Jane we've never received in figure form. Do you guys plan to transfer the pinless joints and newly revived toe joints over to future Spider-Man figures across the board?
We will be using the pinless as we build our tooling library with more and more of the pinless parts. We will be using them across more Spider-Man as well as other heroes and villains where possible. As far as the toes, we do have another, I would say, A-tier hero coming in the near future that'll use that new body with the toes as well. So yes, we plan to use those things on other characters as well going forward.
A lot of people asking for updates on past Spider-Man figures too. I heard you mention that, so just putting that out there. What about further update in the female figures? I see that Lightning Collection, G.I. Joe Classified line, they implemented 2 points of articulation in the torso, butterfly joints for female figures. Any plans for similar upgrades to Legends?
We just added butterflies to our Kate Bishop for the Disney Plus show. So she'll be our first female with butterflies. And we are looking at the possibility of doing some of those articulation systems in the future. We wanted to do it on an upcoming figure, but there wasn't enough room in her torso due to how our neck was designed to do butterflies and the torso. So we're kind of trying to look at what's the right way to go about getting those pieces in the library and the toolkit. But yeah, we're doing what we can to try to find some places to do some more future updates for the female buck.
Nice. Any plans for updating the kind of teenage bucks like the old Miles Morales and Ultimate Peter Parker, those male and female sort of teenage medium-sized bucks?
I think those would be on the list. We don't use those as often. We don't have as much of a need for them as some of the other figures that we use way more often. So I think it's a little bit of a lower priority, but it's definitely something that we're thinking about. And when we have the opportunity to update them, we'll look to do that as well.
Spider-Man from the 2-pack with Spinneret, the entire lower foot, is that a totally new part, or is it just actually the foot? Like from the calf down, is it new, or just the foot?
I don't recall. I don't have that in front of me, and I'm not 100% certain, so I don't want to tell you the wrong thing just because I don't have it to know for certain.
What about the arms, the legs, where you guys implemented the pinless tech? Was that just swapping out brand new arms and knees? Okay.
Yeah. Oh no, yeah. Those the hips to upper shins at least are new, and the biceps to forearms are at least new.
Any plans to broaden the shoulders on that buck? Maybe with that new figure that you guys are looking at.
Are you saying just like bigger shoulders, wider shoulders, and more?
Yeah, wider, a little wider shoulders. I think that's been a point of, I guess, contention with some collectors, that they want Spidey to just be have kind of like broader, wider shoulders, or anybody with that particular buck.
Okay. No, we haven't looked at that so far, but now that it is brought to our attention, we'll look at it and see if there's something we can do at a future time to make some improvements if we think it'll be beneficial.
Just one final thing as far as that buck is concerned. I think fans want the elbows on those pinless arms to just bend in a little deeper. That was something that I saw a lot of comments for. Just a comment, no real question there. But as far as the Venom and Null 2-pack, the wings that are attached to Venom, can they be attached to Null as well?
Venom had a new torso that's keyed for those wings. So those are intended just for him.
Got it. And the Venom buck is basically the same buck as the movie Venom, correct?
Correct. It's a lot of Venom movie parts with a new torso, a couple of classic heads. I don't remember how many hands the movie one came with. They might be existing hands.
I'm trying to remember. I think it was 2. I think it was the fist and then like some open hands, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think the 2020 Venom movie Venom figure had both sets of hands, so this one does too, I believe.
And just an observation with that. Well, I guess there's a question. Why the toes over the just like triangular feet for that Venom?
Just at that point in time, it was probably down to costing. The amount of dollars we had to spend on the torso and heads outweighed being able to overhaul the entire figure. So sometimes we have to pick and choose which pieces we can fix at any given point in time.
Understood. I really like that Ned and Tom Holland 2-pack. Any further plans for more civilian looks, plain clothes, heroes and villains?
There's a couple in the works that I can think of right now that I know are coming. So yeah, that's something I like to do too, where, take a break from all the spandex and superhero stuff and give us some other looks. So you'll see some more of those.
We were on a podcast this past week, and shout out to my podcast mate, Pancho. But he mentioned that you guys might be able to repurpose the buck for Ned for a comic-based version of Miles's best friend in the comics. So just putting that out there. How close are you guys watching other import companies and trying to kind of rival them or be on par with what they're offering? Are you guys looking at that stuff, looking at what other companies are doing and just trying to continue to step up your game?
Yeah, we're super competitive. Like our team is super competitive to always want to give fans the best stuff. So we are very much aware of the premium competitors that you guys are talking to. The premium competitors also, just from a business standpoint, have a premium price point that is very, very much different from the price point that we have as well. And there are other considerations. Some of those figures are awesome, right? And we always try to take what is feasible and realistic that we can take and to improve ourselves to be, awesome as well. You famously said that our old retro Spider-Man was better than the Mafex Spider-Man, right? And we really appreciated that. And we know what the competition is all doing, right? And we try to be very close to the game in terms of being competitive. So we thank all the fans for, collecting Legends or collecting both. We don't try to force people to collect our stuff, right? We always have this motto of trying to say, like, we're fans ourselves, and we want the fans to get what they love. And hopefully you guys love our stuff.
Gotcha.
We do it more if the import stuff came out sooner, but sometimes you have to wait a really long time. But
Okay.
No, in all seriousness too, shout out to Emily on the G.I. Joe team. They actually are starting up a new kind of in-house competitive kind of review inspiration session. So yeah, we are, as I think all the brands, going to take a closer look at the variety of collector type products and see how we can all learn from them and take different things away to each of our lines.
Well, just another observation here. I don't think you guys are far off from rivaling those companies. And oftentimes, you guys go back and forth as far as who's producing the better version of whatever character. But just adding more heads and hands into what you guys are offering, I think would be cool for that model. And maybe even having some distinction between what could be considered a premium buy for Hasbro Marvel Legends, as opposed to like the standard Build-A-Figure wave, maybe something for premium collectors and that are adult collectors. And if you guys offer more heads and hands and effect parts with those figures, I think any price increases would probably be okay. But I feel like we discussed the scenario previously with collectors and that they would be on board with price increases if there were 3 sets of hands, 3 heads, and some type of effect part to kind of represent someone's power set. Again, just putting it out there. Would you guys be interested in leaning into offering higher quality premium figures specifically for adult collectors? Is that something that you guys could implement on Pulse or
I think Pulse is already doing that. I mean, you've got HasLabs first and foremost, right? Which are by definition is that. And then, yeah, I think as the Pulse continues to grow, and we've had some fun Pulse exclusive type items like the X-Men VHS this year, and we're working on other items for, you know, the future, that Pulse as a channel is more that adult collector channel, right? You're not, you have to go to the site and order. So we can try various types of things there too. But in the main line, I think we do want to just try to appeal to as many fans as we can. So not going super high price point, right? Super deluxe on everything, but kind of picking our spots. And that new $50+ like deluxe statement, like we've done with the MODOK and Hydra Stomper and things like that, that's kind of showing how we can expand the offerings.
Right. I think that things like that are basically a Build-A-Figure in one shot. So at that price point, I think it's totally okay. Just putting that out there as well. But any plans for expansion packs, you know, new heads and hand sculpts for existing figures that may have had a neutral head sculpt to begin with, or vice versa, and just offering some type of expansion pack? That could be something that could be offered on Pulse too. But any plans for something like that?
We look at it. It's something that I like as well, but there's just some challenges. It's, I think, not as cost effective as I initially thought, just because the way things are molded, and this hat, like when you make a new figure, like the way that the tooling I think is laid out, it's to optimize making that figure. But then if you start going around and just doing heads from various places, I think it can be a little more tricky. But it's something that we haven't solved yet, but look forward to continuing to look at it.
All right. I think keeping in tune with the comic books and releasing figures based on specific comic book stories or runs is a great idea. Will we see a similar program to the Beyond Amazing Spider-Man program, or at least some single release for Incredible Hulk this year? It's his 60th year anniversary in May, I believe.
It's like an anniversary for almost every character for Marvel, right? So if you want to go pick and choose for, like, if you go by that logic, we should be like making every single Marvel character, unfortunately. So, you know, we don't want to confirm or deny any specific character because, you know, we don't normally do that, Boog. But pay attention to the anniversaries. We do that all the time. You usually always list us a character or character list, right, that the fans want. So we usually listen to those things very closely, and yeah, we'll have to see which characters we're able to activate in 2022 or in 2023. We're going to be close to doing 2024 development as well, so yeah, we'll see.
3 Legends 20th Hulks, and it'll get you to your 60th. How about that?
That is a great figure. I actually just got that figure and opened them up the other day. You guys did a great job on that. As far as everything that was packed in with the figure, 2 hands, 2 heads, a little base, the little backdrop, for that price point, I think that was well worth it. It's a chunky bit of plastic. I think, you know, at that price point, that was worth it. But yeah, just putting it out there. Doc Samson, I think, needs an update. Bruce Banner getting the Peter Parker treatment would be great. I think Immortal Hulk was a great comic book run. So just looking at characters from that run would probably be great with collectors.
To give you a morsel for the podcast real quick, there is another anniversary amongst all the Marvel characters that we do currently have plans to activate against later this year. So not saying which one, but yeah, so stay tuned and speculate.
All right.
I like the sound of Ryan giving you nuggets, Boog. Look at that.
I like that.
And with the ones you just mentioned, Boog, I'd like to get an update for Scar, Son of Hulk, and yes. I would like to get I don't know how to do it, but the new design for Titan, the Hulk's Hulk that was in the comic book. I mean, I think that's probably a 12-inch monstrosity. I don't know how to deliver that today, but I'm intrigued to look at it and see if there's a way to make that monster, because that would be pretty sweet.
Is the Build-A-Figure wave, that initiative, something you guys are trying to phase out? Do trends show that it might be a good, better idea to be done with the Build-A-Figure initiative?
Yeah, so this is the second question we've gotten from like the whole interview process, where people have been asking about, you know, phasing out Build-A-Figures, and I don't think we've indicated that, you know, we're trying to phase out Build-A-Figures at all. I think some people have a misconception that that the stuff that we revealed last week, I guess, was like a wave. It's not a wave, right? It's part of our fall anniversary program that we do since 2018. We have had like a subline right in the fall. So the Spider-Man Beyond Amazing program is the program officially for 2022. So I don't think we've indicated that Build-A-Figure waves are going to go away. And I can, if there's any concern, I can promise you there will be another Build-A-Figure wave like this year too. So yeah.
All right, excellent. Yeah, I don't think people want it to go away, but I feel like there's been some rumblings of that. I personally don't want you guys to phase out Build-A-Figures. There's a lot of men-owned card collectors out there that, you know, they live by the motto, one to rock, one to stock. So with this new windowless packaging with the Beyond Amazing line, post-exclusive like the Army Builders or the VHS X-Men line, will this be something that eventually is the norm for all retail releases? The windowless packaging, I mean.
Yeah, so it's Hasbro in 2019. Hasbro announced this company-wide initiative to move to plastic-free packaging, you know, across everything, and other parts of the company have done that already. Action Brands, Action Figures is kind of the last to make the move, but we will be starting in 2022, which is what you saw with the windowless Spider-Man stuff. And by 2023, the goal is that, you know, we will be in all plastic-free packages, and so that's kind of the new approach. And there's a lot of reasons. It was not a decision that was made lightly, but there was a lot of good reasons for that in terms of sustainability moving forward for future generations. And so yeah, we're just adapting, and we're going to continue to focus on making figures and characters that people want and care about. And Dwight and team continue to add advancements in terms of, you know, sculpt, deco, articulation, things like that. And so that's kind of what we're focused on. But in terms of one to rock, one to stock, someone asked me a question in an earlier interview of like, Ryan, what are you going to do? And I was thinking like, well, you know, I have a lot of mint in-box on card items, but it's not like I have infinite amount of display space. I have tons of stuff in plastic bins, in cardboard boxes, in a closet. But what I collect, I like knowing that I have like a pristine figure if I ever wanted to, you know, trade it, sell it, open it for myself, give it away, whatever. So I think that kind of is a little bit of the psyche of that collector. Not necessarily I need to be able to see the figure, although that is nice. You know, I bought a bunch of Wolverines because that's an awesome X-Men VHS Wolverine. So I'm gonna have more closed box in the inventory there. So we'll see.
Gotcha. Is there some sort of special seal on the packaging to deter swaps and stuff like that when these start to show up at retail, something that could indicate that the package has been opened or tampered with or something like that?
At this moment, no, but we're going to continue to monitor the situation and the rollout of plastic free very carefully. The earlier plastic free items, so the Spider-Man ones, didn't have the logo on pack because we were, you know, it was happening as we were doing it. But moving forward, there will be a standard plastic free packaging logo on all the brands moving forward, so you can tell. But in terms of figure swapping and the challenges at retail, we are aware, and we'll continue to monitor the rollout of this new approach.
I think the fans want to see you guys kill it with the Maguire, Garfield, Holland, Spider-Man trio. I know we're a little ways out from that, but can we safely assume that all the things that have worked these past few years have been a test run for what will be some of the best Spider-Man figures that you guys are about to put out now? Are you guys going to try to implement new sculpts, superposable, unmasked heads for all of these, hands, pinless joints, toe joints, et cetera, et cetera? Are you guys trying to really go all out for these for the Spider-Man trio?
I'll say that the two new sculpts that were required, we didn't need a sculpt for Tom because that costume is the costume we had. But the Toby costume and Andrew costume are both 100% new sculpts.
Got it. Have you guys started conceptualizing the next HasLab project? I know that Galactus is imminent. Do you guys know where you're going with the next project already?
Yes.
Okay. Well, if it's not what I kind of want it to be, then maybe just a suggestion, Giant Man. I think Giant Man would be a great HasLab project. I think the old Toy Biz Giant Man is probably one of the best Build-A-Figures ever done. And if you guys did that as the main figure for HasLab, and then just did other versions of Giant Man and different costumes, Goliath as the stretch goals, little miniature size versions of Wasp, Ant-Man, like Hero Click size, all the way down to that, I think that would be a huge hit as a HasLab. So if that's not the next one, then maybe the following. And then
how tall would your Giant Man be?
I honestly think the Giant Man could probably be the same height as the Sentinel. I think a super detailed, highly articulated Giant Man about the height as the Sentinel would be good. The stretch goals, the other tiers could be Goliath. You know, Goliath doesn't have to, the old school Goliath doesn't have to be as tall as Giant Man. That could just be like a bigger figure, almost a Build-A-Figure size figure. So I think there's a lot of options though with Giant Man. You guys could explore some costumes that you might not want to put out at retail, you know?
Yep.
All right, just a list of things that I think people want to see. And I feel like you guys are working on some of these things already, but just a real quick rundown. New updated superposable Daredevil, finish ups of Spider-Man Superior Foes, so Overdrive. I think a lot of people are requesting the UFOs. Cole from the Reavers, Pretty Boy finished that team. Wolfsbane, Dragon Man, Annihilus. I think you guys might be working on Annihilus because we got those wings with Venom. Banshee, Dwight, you got to kill that. Jim Lee costume, X-Men team, She-Hulk in the onesie, Comic Watcher, Mephisto, A-Bomb, Luke Cage, Lalandra, Deathbird, Gorgon, comic-based Wong, Marrow, and Warriors 3, Thor. More Thor characters in general from the comic books. I think we'll be getting that too, though.
Does this get the same response as last one, Ryan? At least one of those figures is going to get made.
All right, that's fine. Yeah. That's like 3.3% or something out of everything that I just said. Whatever. All right, yeah, and Paul Harden working on a Punisher and a Luke Cage head sculpt. I'd like to see that. I think that's probably in the works too. But thank you guys. Appreciate the time.
Thanks, man.
All right, good talking to y'all. Peace.
I'm in the game, I'm grinding. I got to play 24 hours in a day, 7 days out the week. I never sleep. I'm on my grizzly bear, 52 weeks out the year.